Hello YouTube, Sam here. Welcome back to the Glove Room. I'm here today to talk a little bit about type 1 diabetes and some of the charity stuff that I've been doing over the last few years. So for those of you who don't know about type 1 diabetes, it is a pretty challenging, grueling disease that I've been dealing with since I was age 10. It's an autoimmune disease that afflicts over 1 million Americans. Gets confused with type 2 diabetes a lot, but type 1 diabetes is really its own sort of ball of wax. Only 5% of diabetics out there are type 1, the other 95% are type 2. So in many ways, type 1 diabetes gets overlooked, but it is a day in, day out, hourly, minutely challenge. Real briefly, the way I manage the disease, I check my blood sugar with little finger pokes throughout the day, probably on average about 7 or 8 finger pokes a day. I give myself insulin shots, probably in the order of 6 or 7 a day, every time I eat and then as needed. And we're talking about real little needles here, but we're still doing that daily. That's really the easy part. The hard part is the mental aspect. You know, it's something that's always in the back of my mind. Where is my blood sugar? Am I regulated? Am I in the right place? It's a big roller coaster ride throughout the day. You get too high blood sugar, you feel bad. You get too low blood sugar, it's really bad feeling. So I'm always thinking about being in that happy zone that non-diabetics are always in. So in terms of charity stuff, I've always gone out of my way to try to give back to the type 1 diabetes community. One of the really cool things I've done recently is partner with a nonprofit called Slam T1D. Slam T1D, among other things, puts on these wiffle ball tournaments. You might be wondering what this trophy is right here. This is our second annual Fuld Tampa Classic championship trophy that the Fighting Fulds came home with last year. So we are embarking on our third annual wiffle ball tournament. I partnered with a fellow named Jeff Kolak. He's the founder and CEO of Slam T1D. He's been putting on these wiffle ball tournaments for the last 7 years or so, and he partnered with me about 3-4 years ago. We got the ball rolling on expanding his tournaments. He'd primarily been up in the New England area, and we've since moved down to Florida. So December 10th this year is our third annual. We're expecting 24 teams this year. Last year we raised over $60,000. We're expecting huge growth this year. So I encourage you to check it out, slamt1d.org. I should note that the founder of the Glove Room, Jay McAvoy, was a teammate of mine. That is the reason I am talking to you today. And I'm honored and privileged to be a part of his good work. He's done an amazing job of fundraising, and I really owe him a ton of thanks. And I encourage you to check out the website, slamt1d.org. If you can donate, great. If you can just raise awareness, raise education, anything you're willing to do goes a long way. So that's it. Again, I'm Sam Fuld, and I appreciate your help. Check it out, slamt1d.org. Stay grassy.